Okay, it's very unusual for me to do readings. I haven't done a lot of them. I do work with a writer's workshop. My work is usually published. I stopped writing poetry a number of years ago, and I'm more of a short story writer and an essayist. I originally moved to New York to be a poet and visual artist, and I came into some recognition as a poet with a chapbook that I published that was distributed at the Oswald Memorial Bookshop. I think I gave a copy to both Jacob and that was something that I dedicated to my lover. Maybe I'll read a poem from it later. And soon after that we broke up. Right, so much for that. But I found a group of Black gay writers called the Black Heart Collective that became Other Countries. And I think my very first mark as a poet in the larger public was through a book of poems that the Soto Saint edited called 100 Black Gay Poets. And he put this together to say that people didn't recognize that there were a lot of Black gay poets out there. So he said, I'm going to put this book together and present 100 Black gay poets. I think there's a big thing about whether it was gay Black poets or Black gay poets. And I always say Black gay. He says gay Black, but I think there's a lot of discussion about that. So what I'm going to do is read the poem that I had published in here. And on the paper that I gave you, you'll recognize that I'm just in the opening lines. I wrote it one way, and Soto edited it somewhere else that twerks the meaning slightly. And I tried to explain what my original intent was with the original way that I wrote it, and now I've decided to revise it and change that one word. Right? So I will read it. Maybe I should read it as Soto has it listed in the book, and then I'll read it with my slight change, okay? The title of the poem is, I'm lost if for wanting my dreams less your heat. My lover, when the triggered noise, you're driving me through madness. By you, I'm exploded, flowering, stiff concern for excitement, my lover. Excitement when I started to feel the lingering of my hand, some feeling, my horse, deep breathing, my dreams, moments of our next day. I projected, focus was standing, our present passing, realized illusion shattered within moments of clear vision, triggered when I explode long-stemmed passions. I'm devoting this letter, driven through your madness. I go into dreams floated at your side, loving your waves. My fingers tip surface, your armor, my wonder, lightly bronzed. Life has our madness. You read literature, your spirit, my joy. Deep in desire, my love reveals. Fired, love's concealing when I've lost if for wanting my dreams less your heat. Now I'll reread that again the way that I originally would have wrote it with the slight revision of one word. My lover, when the triggered noise, hour driving me through madness. By you I'm exploded, flowering stiff concern for excitement, my lover. Excitement when I started to feel the lingering of my hand, some feeling, my horse, deep breathing, my dreams, moment of our next day. I projected, focus was standing, our present passing, realized illusion shattered within moments of clear vision, triggered when I explode long stem passions. I'm devoting this letter, driven through your madness. I go into dreaming, floated at your side, loving your waves, my fingers tip surface, your armor, my wonder, lightly bronzed. Life has our madness. You read literature, your spirit, my joy. Deep in desire, my love reveals. Fired love concealing when I'm lost if for wanting my dreams less your heat. A thing about my poetry is that I can only write when I'm in love or having a lot of sex. That's all my poetry, and you'll see in the book that I gave you, it's all about sodomy, fellatio, and that's what inspires me to write poetry. I don't know, and I don't write poetry anymore, so I guess I'm having less sex. Now, to follow up with this was 1991. The poem that's in here was written in like maybe 1983. And this book, Black Gay Genius, Answering Josephine's Call, was something that I was invited to write for. And what it is, it's actually, as it says here, this is a story about my life on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, an engagement with a group of black gay brothers, poets and writers I'd met through a sequence of circumstances that encouraged a relationship for more than 3 decades. And it basically traces my life arriving in Manhattan, hanging out in East Village with the theater queens and Hot Peaches and Charles Ludlam and Jack Smith, and then meeting a lot of these writers, and then going into the art world, with the East Village thing, and then out of that. I don't remember where it ends. But the one paragraph that I wanted to read from here that I figure relates to this that happened a decade earlier, it's very short, but I think it's really important. There was a club called 8BC up the block between Avenues B and C. Funny, come to think of it, I lived on St. Mark's Place between Avenues A and First, another legendary club. No, let me start over again. There was a club called 8BC up the block between Avenues B and C. Funny, come to think of it, when I lived on St. Mark's Place between Avenues A and First, another legendary club, Club 57, was located up the block between First and Second. I socialized from time to time at both. It was sometime in the mid to late 80s that a Soto Saint reappeared in my world. He was performing at 8BC. Upon meeting him there, he told me that I should not abandon my brothers. They needed my voice. His words really made an impression on me, and I eventually went looking for other countries and found them in 1993. A Soto Saint passed in 1994. So basically, this is a story about my coming to New York, wanting to be a poet and visual artist, writing poetry because I was in love with this lover, breaking up with the lover, not writing so much poetry anymore, leaving this group called the Black Heart Collectors that had formed into other countries, sort of abandoning them, and then meeting a Soto Saint that brought me back into my writing with this Black Art Collective again. So that's all I have to present, but maybe if you have that book, I'll read one poem from that chapbook, that little envelope that I gave you with the book in it. I have a poem about fascination, love, sodomy, marriage, fantasy, and seduction. What do we want to hear from? Love, where am I saying?
Sodomy.
Sodomy? You want to hear about sodomy? Okay. They're very short. Sodomy is, I know now he wants me. Oh, okay. I know now he wants me. I know how I want to. If he only knew how much. He carefully prepares my walls thick and drives me crazy. He wants to go, he goes. I want this to go on forever, thick inside me. He stops to hold, I want him to come. I sense the rhythmic sounds of his desire as rhythmic rhythms of my desire react in reoccurring stress. He doesn't want to go, he goes, while I make him come, thick. The window open, the sheets draped across his wet thighs, breathless we lay together. We broke up after this, you'll remember. I'll read this other one because it's one of my favorite ones. It's in the center here. And I wrote these when I was 23 years old or something. I was really kind of young. I've been feeling like some kind of weird monster lately. It comes, it goes, but oh so slow. wanting it could last a lifetime. Blue-gray eyes, dark hair, ginger skin, the well that lies beside you, and your wet wand. How long will this night's love last? It comes, it goes, but oh so slow. I want this one to last a lifetime. Okay, how's that?